want to show you guys how I make a silicone bag around these worn out plastic containers. This is made probably 60, 70 planters, and it's very tired. It has all these burn marks and cement sticking. So I'm going to rejuvenate this. You can do this with new planters as well. It doesn't need to be an old planter. You can do the same thing with new planters. We have a great big hole here. So I've made a circle. We've cut a circle for it. That's going to go like this. Our ingredients are polypropylene strands and RTV silicone, a really good silicone. In Ecuador, it's very cheap, so it's easy for us to use this material. It's like $3 a container like this. So the idea is that I'm going to make a bag of silicone on top of this. And what it allowed me to do is a lot of times the planter will fall out. So we'll have a silicone bag over this. And then we'll come back and put our cement. And when it dries, I have the planter and I have the silicone bag. That is going to make it a little bit easier for me to release this whole setup. Okay, just if I were to put cement on here now, forget about it. It's not coming out because this is worn out so much. It doesn't have any shine to it anymore. If I oiled it up with vegetable oil, I might get it out, but it will be still a huge struggle. So I'm going to get started. I'm going to mix up some of this this mix. And what happens is the silicone and the fiber allow me to create a super, super strong material that allows me to apply it quite easily to this. So I'm going to do this all the way around, and then I got to do it quite equal so I don't have any lumps sticking out. So we're going to mix up a whole bunch of material, and then we're going to show you when we're closer to applying it everywhere. If you have a shape that is not perfectly round like this, you take a red marker or red paint and you make a line. And when you make the line here, that means that every time you demold, you'll put the mold back where that red line is. And that way you get the shape correct every single time. Yeah, we finished coating everything with, now there's something incredibly important. We make a glass-like finish using silicone straight. RTV silicone straight. We don't put any fiber in this. We're making this beautifully smooth glove so that when we take the cement planter off, it just comes off super easy. If there were bumps here, it would be really hard for the for us to get the planter out because of the little nibs where the cement would go into the mold itself. So make sure to have enough silicone to put a paste over top to fill in all the holes and make it super, super smooth. So you have an easy situation for release. Yeah, so it's the next day. The silicone, I think, will be hard. The off-gassing, it doesn't smell so strong anymore. The ammonia is gone. So now I'm going to release it. So I'm going to go all the way around. Once you release this, it's like really easy to make this work as a separator when you cast the cement on this. And this RTV silicone will give us about maybe 200 casts at a time before it starts to disintegrate a bit, especially with the polypropylene inside it. Okay, we're going to fill this up with soapy water, and then we're going to take it all apart. It's a bit of warm water with soap. It really helps the process. Ok, Laura, quites eso arriba. Pones allá. ¿Que me ayudas? Okay, there's our mold. So we're going to apply cement to this, smear it up, and then when you separate these two things, it'll come out very easily. This piece will separate very, very easy, and you can make maybe 500, 600 big planters of this size. Yeah, so I want to explain this bag mold. So when you have a mold like this, you're basically having two scenarios. So this will release, so the bag will release from the plastic shape. The bag will release from this, and the cement planter will release from the silicone. So it's a double release system, and that makes it really, really easy to get any cement planter off the outside of this. It makes it a lot more user-friendly for somebody who's never demolded a planter before. So we're going to get started. We're going to apply our cement coating onto this, concrete coating. The mix is, it's 3-to-1, so 3 sand and 1 cement. And if you look closely, it's completely loaded with fibers. So we're going to apply it on here and get started. Try to keep the mix very nice and with the same thickness everywhere. Always have a little bit of water on hand if you need to moisten the mix a bit more. This is a bit too dry for me, so we're going to add a bit of water. What we like to do is put a ring on the bottom and then work our way up, because then we have it all equal. Dario, ¿tienes suficiente espacio ahí? Okay. Yeah, we made the mix a little bit wetter so we can get it on a little bit better, a little bit easier. So our first objective is to get a solid coat on everywhere so it can dry up a little bit. We have sunny weather finally here. So you have to sort of keep track how thick you are, because you need a certain thickness for this planter to survive the freeze-thaw cycle and mechanical damage that could happen. Okay, so this is coat 2. We're going all at once. We're not waiting for one coat to dry. Okay, this is touching the silicone. That's going to be my drainage hole. I don't have to do anything with it. Don't have to get out any drills. So this is very different. If you have a plastic container underneath here, the cement doesn't stick as well to the plastic container. It sticks much better to the silicone, which sounds a little bit funny, but it's actually the way it works out is the silicone has a rougher surface, and the cement sticks quite well. You don't have to worry about it falling off or anything like that. You don't have to use like a ceramic tile glue. You can do it with straight cement. It does work nicely, allowing you to finish it all at once. Okay, so it's been 10 minutes, maybe 15 at the most, maybe 10. And we've got the 2.5 coats, whatever you want to call it, on here. And we're happy with it. We're just going to use up all the cement that we have, just not to waste anything. And we're going to decorate this with a river sand, just to give it a little bit of a finished look to it. And the nice thing about rough surfaces is you can stain them really nicely with, like a wood color, a brown color, a darker color. Yeah, it's very nice working with the silicone because it just does not fall down. It doesn't matter how much material you put on here, it does stay up. This area here is a weak spot, so make sure you have enough cement there. You'll end up with a bottomless planter if you don't have enough cement, which is not a big deal. This whole ring comes off if there's not strong enough. Okay, it's good to check the bottom. It looks easy, but you have to have a bit of experience with a trowel. It might not be as easy as you think, but the silicone really does help in the process because everything sticks to it so well. So the estimation on this is 200 planters with this silicone waste mold, the silicone, let's call it a silicone bag over top of a plastic container. Minimum, we can do 200 of these planters with it. And it'll keep on going. It won't really, especially with the polypropylene fiber being inside the silicone, it'll work forever. Okay, me haces un círculo muy bonito abajo. Make a nice circle around the bottom. Okay, I'm happy with this. So, sand time. And by putting this sand on here with a bit of force, you get rid of all the trowel marks. And I always like to leave a little bit of the planter showing so it's not completely covered with sand. Okay, so the only thing left to do is we're going to tarp this so the sun doesn't bake it too much. And then we're going to demold it tomorrow. Okay, plástico, Dario. And I like to have this tube here because it holds the plastic away from the piece. I have a couple of these in the yard already, and they have aged so nicely because of the rough surface. The moss starts to grow on it. It's very appealing that way when it's this rough. Okay, listo. Hey, Dario. Okay, it's going to keep the water and the sun away. Yeah, so it's the next day. Might be a bit too early to take this apart, but I'm going to do it anyways. Okay, so with the silicone in between the cement, it's quite easy to release this. The silicone has this real release of chemicals that make everything come out very easy. It releases quite easy. There we go. Okay. Okay. So this is how easy this comes out of this mold, out of the cement. It comes out super easy. And here we go. And what I like to do is I always like to store the mold back over top of the frame so it doesn't take on an odd shape. And this I could use probably 300, 400, 500 times. There, stored perfectly. Okay, so here's the planter. It's quite attractive the way it looks.